Hey, what if the one product that made Apple the most valuable company on earth suddenly started working against it? Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's exactly the conversation happening right now on Wall Street, and it's worth paying close attention to. So here's the deal. The iPhone has been Apple's golden goose for years. We're talking about a product that consistently brings in somewhere around half of Apple's total revenue. Half. That's an enormous amount of financial weight resting on one device. And for a long time, that was perfectly fine because iPhone sales were strong, upgrade cycles were predictable, and consumers kept lining up. But lately, some analysts are starting to whisper something a little uncomfortable. The iPhone might actually be turning into a liability rather than an asset when it comes to Apple's stock performance. Now, how does that even happen? Let me break it down for you. The smartphone market, globally speaking, is maturing. People aren't rushing out to upgrade their phones every year the way they used to. The differences between an iPhone 14 and an iPhone 15, or even a 16, aren't always dramatic enough to convince someone to drop over $1,000 on a new device. And in key international markets like China, Apple is facing some really serious headwinds. Local competitors like Huawei have been eating into Apple's market share in a way that's genuinely concerning for long-term growth projections. And here's where it gets really interesting from an investor perspective. When a single product makes up such a massive chunk of your revenue, any slowdown in that product doesn't just hurt your sales figures, it shakes investor confidence hard. Stock prices are essentially a bet on future growth, and if the market starts believing that iPhone growth has peaked or is slowing down, that perception alone can drag the stock lower, even if Apple's overall business is still incredibly profitable. And this is a big but, the story doesn't end there, because Apple has been quietly, methodically building a financial fortress that doesn't rely solely on iPhones anymore. We're talking about Apple services, things like the App Store, Apple Music, Apple TV+, iCloud subscriptions, Apple Pay, and more. That segment has been growing at a pretty impressive clip and now generates tens of billions of dollars annually with much higher profit margins than hardware. Services revenue is recurring, it's sticky, and it scales beautifully. That's exactly what investors love. Then you've got wearables, accessories, the Mac lineup, and the iPad. None of them individually are iPhone-sized businesses, but together they represent a meaningful and growing piece of Apple's pie. So while the iPhone might be showing signs of strain, Apple has genuinely diversified in ways that could cushion any real impact on the stock. There's also the wild card of artificial intelligence. Apple has been rolling out Apple Intelligence features across its ecosystem, and if those AI capabilities become a compelling enough reason for people to upgrade their iPhones, that could actually reinvigorate the upgrade cycle in a way nobody's fully priced in yet. That's the optimistic scenario, and honestly, it's not an unrealistic one given how hungry consumers have been for meaningful AI integration in their everyday devices. So where does that leave us? Well, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle of the doom and the optimism. The iPhone era of explosive growth may genuinely be behind Apple, but that doesn't automatically mean the stock is in trouble. Apple has the cash reserves, the brand loyalty, and the ecosystem lock-in to navigate a slower iPhone environment better than almost any other company could. The real question isn't whether the iPhone is slowing down, it probably is. The question is whether Apple has built enough of everything else to make you not care. And honestly, that answer might surprise you.